to stay with us. Let me put what I said earlier in proper perspective, so nobody thinks I'm trying to say that homes should break up. I think YK used the right word, finding happiness, because the goal in life when we were growing up is just get married. And once you get married, everything is sorted. You find true happiness. But our parents, somebody else, there was also a post that someone said, our parents didn't tell us the truth. They didn't tell us the reality. They didn't open up to us what the reality was. So some of us are in marriage. Like, marriage, yes, gives you some happiness. But we have found that happiness really, truly comes from within. It is you that decides what makes you happy. Back then, our parents probably knew what made them happy, but they were willing to compromise and say, you know what, instead of my happiness, let me just stay here for the gram, or for the perception. Let people see me. Let me just stay here because that's what society expects of me. And they were fine with it. What I'm saying is 2025 is here. A lot of women are coming to the realization that a lot more than marriage makes them happy. So the question is, should we continually therefore promote that marriage is an all-important factor, or should be an option?
Marriage be an option. Marriage is not an all-important factor, because if it's so important, they won't be sisters. They won't be sisters in the convent.
God created man and woman and told us that we should be fruitful and multiply.
But they are reverend fathers and they are women in the they are
What
nuns.
of the Catholics that don't marry?
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's compulsory. It might be necessary for procreation. And I think one of the reasons I think personally is that the Bible will support it so that adultery and fornication will not just be flying like singlet and boxers everywhere. So you must be in marriage so that you will procreate. And because we're also seeing that, yes, maybe now times have changed, we've also seen deficits of not having two parents together, especially when one person is quite incapacitated to do the needful. And we've seen beautiful women train children alone, even men train children alone, and they turned out well. So times have changed, terrain has changed. I personally believe that, see, all of these men, they are just castigating us. If they ask them that when your marriage certificate expires, are you willing to renew? Let's put an opinion poll out there. Not all men will renew. Because it is after they got into the marriage, is that time you not say, so efiniwa, oh, your character is like flames, is now coming out. Then they came out with this, when a woman has stayed too long in the house, she becomes a witch. When a man stays too long in that marriage, what does he become? He doesn't become a wizard. So everything is coming to the women, and the men refuse to understand that a lot of times they made that woman the devil that she is. When you come about companionship, some men prefer to get it outside, and the woman is just there because she has to give birth and take care of the children.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you, Amaka. Tunde from Agodo, thanks for calling.
Wish is male.
Tunde from Agodo.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I'm listening to all your conversations, very interesting.
Yes.
All these your ticklings, I want you to be Christian, I want you to be tall, I want you to be slim, fair, dark. Those are the characteristics of non-living things. No man has it all. You know? So every man has an ethic.
Sorry, I missed that. I can't hear you.
know?
Oh, yikes. I'm so sorry. We have to call you back. Those were things I listed years ago. I'm 45 now. This is like maybe when I was 25, 26. So these are like back then, 20 years ago. So,
so for me, I just feel that it's important to have those standards because it helps you to be intentional about what's important to you. I always say, people ask people, what career choice do you want? And then you study so hard to get there. Why is that when it comes to marriage, something to do with your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, you don't put in so much, you don't have a standard, you don't have a list, you're not intentional about it. Why do you hate yourself so much? Because let me tell you something, if this the marriage is important, marriage is sweet for those that want to do it, right? And if there's so much happiness in this marriage, why is everybody in Lagos, why are majority of people in Lagos, why are they outside? The married people, men and women alike. Let's say, because we talk about that conversation, this table will break.
Amaka.
Yes.
Amaka.
So as anybody that people are talking, question yourself, you married woman and man, first of all. Are you happy that marriage, first of all?
So now takes me to what Damilola said, because I think what Dami said,
Please,
I think,
can I just say this before you go there? I hope you don't lose your train of thought. So I just want to say that short time joints is the hottest
booming business.
What's short time?
Short time 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Short time hotels
now.
Really? There's short time.
Hey, the men can testify. I'll be cutting to you.
Or just some money
Okay,
to stop it.
Let me not forget.
Now, I need to tell you something that happened on
Everybody
Monday.
alive. Tune you're there.
Hello, good morning, Morayo.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The same thing, my wife gave it to me 26 years ago.
Okay.
I'm 55.
Okay.
No, but the reverse is the case now. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
The reverse
Yeah,
is
we
the
can
case.
hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. The reverse is the
Morayo.
case. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's a deaconess in your church, but what I'm witnessing in the house is different from what she's doing in the church. You know,
wonderful.
so
How do you
Hello?
mean?
hello,
I can hear you. How do you mean? What do you mean? The difference of what she's doing in church?
yeah,
What do you mean by that? I don't get it. Go ahead. Explain to us.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying, she's a deaconess and everything. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can. Maybe you should not listen to the TV.
Yeah, but what she's doing at home is different from.
Listen to me, not the TV. How do you mean? What's different?
She's a good Christian, no. But me as an husband, I know she's not a really good Christian. Because even God,
Shattered.
yeah, to me,
How do you
the
mean?
Bible says, what do you say?
How do you mean she's not a good Christian?
Not submissive now.
Okay.
Both of us were working in the bank before. She's a high flyer there.
Okay.
You know, lots of things. Hello.
We can
Hello.
hear you, sir. Go ahead.
So lots of things. I just say, so you call yourself a Christian? Don't compare my Christianity with what is happening at home. I just laugh it over. I just kept my quiet because I like my peace. You know.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Go ahead, Mikey.
You sound unhappily married.
What do you say?
You sound unhappily married.
No, I don't have any choice now.
I don't
Doesn't
have
have
any
any choice. That's it.
Okay, there's a question. Can you hear me, Mr. Tunde? Hello, can you hear me? I really want to talk to Mr. Tunde. You have to call him back. Because I was going to ask him the question Damilola asked earlier. If marriage certificates had an expiry date, would you renew? And I think that's the question I
will
want
not renew.
Nigerians to ask today. If everyone, because the reality is that if we say that when I give you this marriage certificate, it's a 20-year lifespan and must be renewed every 20 years. The question is, if we have that saying today, would married men and married women choose
together.
to renew? And I think that's an important conversation to have. Because that's why this is your shortlet.
Yeah,
Booming.
Morayo, on
They won't
Monday-
bring their
on
wives to
Monday,
shoplets.
on Monday after the show, and I said I had the meeting. So I said I quickly dashed into a banner to pick up something and so. Next, I saw a lady. Next, I just heard, oh, a lady and her daughter. And then she kept telling the daughter, go and check this, go and check, because she wanted the daughter to move away so that she could say what she wanted to say. You know, she was going on and on about marriage. Like, marriage is not sweet, though. It's not what you think it is, though. That if she can just carry, if they say carry your bag, and before they finish saying carry, she'll carry the thing like this with her two hands.
Hey.
And every very beautiful lady, everything, carry the thing with her two hands and go and everything. You know, just going on and on and on and on. So I had to stand there and we talked and stuff like that, right? And that is not to say that their marriages are not beautiful and there are people that don't have beautiful marriages. There are exceptions to every rule. There are people that have marriage is sweet, marriage is beautiful. But you have to be intentional about making your own beautiful, about making your own sweet. And how you can make your own sweet is by being intentional about what you like, who you want to be with, who you are as a human being first. You need to find happiness within yourself before you can pour out from the filled cup to love another person, to be intentional about being kind to another person. You can't meet a guy that is an abuser and expect to have a beautiful marriage. It will not work. You need to have standards.
That's extreme. Abuser, we won't stay with abuser. There's some subtle ones that will be as if it's not a big deal. But gradually, it layers up and then the cups become full. So the domestic violence, that one is a no-brainer. Once you get one slap, you walk out the door.
Maybe I think that it starts from our parents. You know, when you go home and you're telling your parents that I have this guy and they're asking you, who is he, what does he do, what this and that. There are times that we lay out our fears, but our parents maybe stylishly kind of douses it down and like, no, don't worry. When you get in, you begin to love him. A woman has the ability or the capacity to love when you are in marriage. It's a man that should love you ahead. So some women have gone into it with that notion that, okay, he will change. Okay, I can love him. Let me give him 1 year. Let me give him 2 years. 2 years have become 5 years. 5 years have become 10 years. That lingering matter did not come to an end. But because your parents have propelled you and they have coerced you that don't worry, with time he will change. And that's why we're at this point. If every red flag or every pink looking flag that could potentially become red was addressed, a lot of people will not be in their marriages today.
But life is not about that, because life sometimes is about resilience. Because everything can be perfect. There will be red flags that your resilience, your shock absorber would help you to build, because nothing is perfect. So a human being, we are also built to because they say the world is for the strongest survive. What how they say what they call the strong. I can't remember the phrase. The strongest survives, because every life sometimes is about struggles, and even the Bible tells us that there will be struggles, but He will deliver you from everything. So the truth is that in life things won't be perfect. So some red flags are there, and you can actually walk around red flags, because we always have this thing of once you see a red flag, run. No, there's some red flags that I'm not saying you should go into red flags, but there's some times that nobody comes perfect.
Absolutely.
You looking for red flags, you have your own issues. That a man will say, well, this one is a red flag. So there's some flags that are pink that you can walk around, but red flags are red flags. Those ones you run. We agree. No, we're all on the same page on that. But let's not always make it look as if there's going to be a perfect guy that will not have any flag.
I don't mean there will be perfect.
Nobody is perfect.
Nobody is perfect, absolutely. But there are some that individually you cannot cope with it.
Of course.
But because you are coerced to make it look like it is nothing,
then you are forced to.
That's where the coercion comes from, and that's where I come from.
On a very short break, when we come back, I still want to ask Mr. Tune that question. I hope we can call him back. If your marriage has 20-year renewal, would you renew? Expiry date.
Please.
Would you renew? That's the conversation.
In fact,
stay with us.
Take a vote online.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.